All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to MLS Monday.
Today's topic is searching the MLS, which can seem very basic, but something that is great for you to take in, look at the details, customize it yourself. And for those of you who were with us last week and looking at the schedule that Jason went over, you can tell we've kind of gone back to the basics. We're starting from square one. So we're going through search, we're going through one home, and then we're going to go through every single tool that we offer you here in the MLS. So if you're new to MLS Mondays, welcome. It's a new year. I know we've got a lot of new members trying to learn things and take things in. This is something that we do every single Monday. And for those of you that are new, Jason is your MLS director, since we just hop right into announcements here. And my name is Joanna. I am your MLS manager. And Jason is my boss, even though he likes to call me boss or bossy. So with that, I'm gonna hop right in and share my screen. Jason's got his meta glasses on, so I don't know, we're recording him, recording us.
Recording you doing your job.
Recording is like recording inception. All right, so right off the bat, when you log into your dashboard, you can see here that you have all of your tools. So for our first couple of weeks here into the new year, we're focusing in on MLS, which is where most of our members spend their time. But I do encourage you, especially if you're a new member, I see we've got a lot here on the group. Click through these, check these out, go to the RPCRA website and look at the tools list, see what all these tools do that you can plug in and implement into your business right away. Over this first quarter of the year, we will be getting through every single tool, but you don't want to miss the opportunity for something that could help you with your business to kickstart that year. So get out there, click through these right away. Do you have something?
Well, I was going to say, your dashboard is set up in a way that you can actually have your favorites on top.
Up
We've been
here.
on this dashboard for about almost going on 2.5 years
Yep,
from what we used to have. So you can add as much to your
right
favorites
here.
as you want by hitting that little button, copy the favorites, and you just click on the little heart and it moves up there. So a lot of people complain, yeah, scroll down for 18th of a second
To get
and
to
then
MLS.
then find your tool. The things you use the most often, put in your favorites. You can also on the right hand side there add your own links. So if there's things you go out to, Leap is something you guys use all the time. If there's a broker portal you use with your broker, if you work for a national brand or franchise and you want to add your broker tool there, maybe the place you submit your independent contractor agreement online, all those things that you do, you can put there as personal links. I've got about 15 on mine and I haven't hit capacity yet, but they'll link right out to that. Okay. And then the way we outline this is the core tools are on in the middle there. As you scroll down, you'll see other tools, all things that are providing you membership. This is where you can sign up for MLS Mondays and you can sign up for events. And then as you go down, you got some more training resources. So our YouTube channel is here, which this will actually end up there at some point on there as well. Our MLS rules and regulations. You've got a little widget on the right-hand side of Domus Analytics. And then on the bottom there, you've got some additional mobile sites and apps, and then additional resources. So Florida Realtors, RPCRA website, you've got Rate Plug, you got Cape Coral Zoning, Open House, NAR membership, Forewarn, which is a membership benefit you get from FR. And my point with this is this dashboard has everything that you need. All the training tools, everything is here in one spot. And the teams work really hard to get it kind of organized to make it kind of intuitive. So
Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and we will hop right into MLS, also known as Matrix. As we go through this, you'll notice at the bottom the chat is disabled, but you can use the Q&A box if you have any questions. No question is a dumb question. Type it in there and we will get to them as we walk through this process. So, for most of you that have been here for a while, you'll notice that my dashboard may look different from your dashboard. This is the updated and new dashboard. If you've already switched, congratulations. If not, your dashboard may look like the classic dashboard. We'll go back to it really quick here. And this is what you have known for years to be your dashboard. You'll notice the font is really, really small. There's lots of empty real estate over here. Looks like it was built in the 90s because it was built in the 90s. So it needed a nice little upgrade. They have placed this little call to action box on here that will ask you to upgrade to the new dashboard. So you can say, let's check it out, or you can say, remind me later. I will tell you, for those of you who are terrified of change, and I've been using this dashboard for years, there is no need to fret because you can see, just as I did, if you switch to the new dashboard, you can go right back to the classic dashboard. So you can play around with it. If you're not comfortable yet, you can switch back. You simply switch between the new and old dashboard by clicking on your name and clicking this little toggle button up here and going back and forth. So you're not married to it, but you can come out here and have a little bit of fun with it. Everything that you had on your classic dashboard, all those boxes, same thing is on the new dashboard. It's just a new look. It fits the screen better. The buttons are bigger, for those of us that are half blind, it's a lot easier to see. So starting from left to right here, you've got the Matrix Learning Lab. So this will bring you out to it's a separate training center from our training center that is brought to you right from the developer, which is Cotality. It also has a box here so that you can download the MLS Touch app. If you don't already have that on your phone, an easy way is scan that QR code and get MLS on your phone. You have a quick search here. So there are a lot of other search options that we're going to go through, but there's a quick search where you could plug in an address real quick. If a customer calls and they're like, hey, I'm looking at 123 Main Street, you can just type those features in here and it'll pull up anything that has to do with 123 Main Street. You also have the Market Watch. So this is going to show you new listings, sold listings, rented, leased, and kind of give you all of these with the bar graph here to give you a gauge on what's going on. You can set what you want here at the bottom. Maybe you're not focusing on residential. Maybe you're focusing on lot and land. Maybe you want to do everything that would be cross property, would include all of these buckets. But you can pick what niche it is that you want to look at and the time frame. So mine's set to just see the past 24 hours, but you can do anything that's today, the past 3 days, or 7 days. All right, scrolling down, you have also the MLS Domus Analytics Market Stats. So this gives you a quick interactive look at market stats aside from your Market Watch over here. Hot Sheets. This is where you can easily click into any of these data buckets and it'll show you anything that's listed in your criteria in the past 24 hours. Maybe just since you've logged in, that's what this session would mean today, 3 days, 7 days, or you can put a custom timeline here if you want. Your settings wheel up here allows you to decide what buckets you want and what buckets you don't want here. So you can shorten this list if you would like. Scrolling down, you've got a quick link to any of your listings, your active listings, pending listings. If you click into these, it'll bring you to that list right away so that you can manage any of your listings. You also have my carts. As we go through today's search, I'm going to show you how you can add things into your cart. This is how you would quickly get to it on your dashboard. Coming over to the right-hand side, any recent One Home visitors. So this would be any of your clients that you've plugged into the portal. This will show you some of their activity and any of their searches. We are going to focus heavily on One Home next Monday. So as we go through today's search, I'm going to show you where buttons are to add them, but we're going to take a deep dive into that program separately next week. So sign up for that if you haven't yet. You're going to be able to add in favorite searches, and this is how you'll get to them quickly so that you can pull up a list of properties based on your searches that you've saved. You've also got My Stats. This would be something that you would save and customize as well. Contact requests, anybody who is in your One Home portal who has requested contact. Recently used contacts. Again, this is linked into your One Home portal and shows activity of your contacts. And coming back this way, you've got external links. These are quick links that we've provided you to certain resources. You'll see some of the tools are out here, like Agent 3000, IMAP, Matrix Mobile. But most importantly, these profile sheets down here, this is a great way to easily grab sheets that have all of the input information on it. So if you were going to a listing appointment and you want all of that information you're going to have to put into a listing, you can grab that really quick there. Then you also have a nice little video here showing what's new every time that they update the Matrix system. This will give you a quick video of new features coming out to this system. Last but not least, listing data checker. If you have listings, that's going to show you any kind of violations or any notifications you might have on your listings for things that you need to change or update. All right, so one last feature here on the dashboard, and then we'll open up the entire search panel. you can open up this side here. This will give you an entire timeline of anybody that you have in the One Home portal. I don't have anybody in this portal, but what it would show you is if anybody has liked any properties, if anybody has started a new search, you can edit what things you want to see from your clients. Maybe you don't want to see, if you've got 500 clients plugged in here, you don't want to see every time somebody logs in. Well, then you can simply turn that feature off. Maybe you only want to see if they comment on something or if they like something. You can completely customize this to what you want to see. So this did not exist prior to on the classic dashboard. It's only on the new dashboard, but it's really, really cool. It gives it to us in a way that we're accustomed to seeing on social media nowadays. I like to call it like the One Home feed or timeline, so that you can keep an eye on and stock friendly all of your customers and what they're doing on their portal that day.
Yeah, that's a great addition that they did. And,
Mhm.
the thought process is if you've got, you got 100, 200 people in that portal, 'cause that's where you're put everybody.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they like the property and they haven't really been active. All of a sudden it would, maybe force you to make a phone call out to them, whatever.
Mhm.
Can you show them how to customize this page and move things around if you don't like it?
Absolutely. So you'll see that you've got this set of 6 squares here. This allows you to drag these around and move these boxes to where you want them. So if you feel that market watch is super important, you can add that to the front. If the search is something you use the most, you can add that there. If you don't want to see like the little widgets that the developer has provided, their promotions and things like that, you can move that as well. Another easy way to do that, this big orange button right here, edit dashboard, allows you to turn some of them off. So if you don't want all of these boxes, you can essentially delete them, and then you can also reorder them on this list as well instead of dragging and dropping them on the big screen. So your experience inside of Matrix is truly made for you. It doesn't have to be exactly what we've provided you out of the box. We want you to come in here and make the most of your time and have it be most efficient. You're not searching for things constantly. Take the time, sit down while you can, make the dashboard what you need for a daily basis for working.
Yeah, and you could take that Matrix Learning Lab, if that's not something you use, turn it off or move it to the bottom, right? And just put the stuff that you're going to use most frequently on top. So
Yeah,
again, it's kind of like the favorites on the dashboard itself. I mean, we want this to be customizable to you and work for you. Everybody uses it a little bit different. And what's important to you, maybe not important to other people, et cetera, and vice versa. So definitely customize this, use it so that it fits you and how you use the MLS every day.
absolutely. So as we get into search, what you'll notice with the new dashboard that's so important for search is there is now a search bar here in the top right-hand corner. Prior to, it existed in this blue bar, and the only thing that you could search by was an MLS number. So you had to have the MLS number ready, plug it in there. Otherwise, you were coming out here and going into your residential search and typing out your criteria. This is now a smart search. So you can start typing by an agent's name, you can start typing by an address, you can start typing by um an
Street name,
MLS number, a street name. You can plug anything in here that
zip
you
code.
want to.
Yeah.
Yep. And I always use our president as a guinea pig. So if we were to come out here, we wanted to pull up an agent really quick, I could start typing and you can see it's pulling any kind of record that has Shane in the name for listings, records, agents. So here I could click in and pull up Shane Spring. Um, Offices, but it's going to pull all of the data. Instead of just searching for listings now, you've got this great option here. But you also can, let me move this little bar here, it's in the way. You can click this and filter if you only wanted to search listings or only wanted to search agents, but all is pretty convenient. It chunks it down here, so it puts it into the little buckets, listings, records, agents, things like that. So this is a great way to find something really quick. If you're trying to pull up an address, you still have this search widget here, but this thing is so much smarter. And, it's going to kind of go, well, are you talking about this? Are you thinking about this? You don't have to enter in the specific criteria. You can just start typing and it'll pull up every type of record for you. And again, that's only available on the new dashboard. So if you're on the classic dashboard, you're not going to see that until you switch into the new dashboard.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've always said they need to get better at, because in the old dashboard, you have to put A and then for
Yeah.
active. And
You have to know
the
short code.
You know the short code, right? This is really truly intuitive. Like,
Yeah.
and I use it all the time. That's what made me switch over to this permanently.
Yeah. So what we're going to focus on today is the new search, how that functions, how that works. Most of the capabilities that are in the new search were also in the classic search. It just looks way better. So you still have access to all of the classic searches. For an example here, this is what the classic search looks like. This is what most of us are accustomed to, used to. Same thing goes here. You see everything is very small, it's very tiny. There's a lot of empty real estate over here. The new search is much more interactive and fills your screen. So we're going to just hop right into that. We're going to go through all the features and how you can customize this to make the experience best for you every time you come out here. So prior to on the new search, you would have to enter in your criteria and hit submit. And then you would choose, do you want to see the results? Do you want to see the map? What you had to go between each and every tab and each and every screen. Now what you have is everything right here on the screen for you. Your fields and your search criteria run along the left-hand side. Your map is here on the top and your results are here on the bottom. But you can also, depending on how your brain works and what your needs are, we have people who hate the map and then we have people who only want the map, right? Well, depending on what person you are, you can grab this and drag it. Okay, so you can have the map bigger if you need more space for the map. If you don't need the map, you can certainly collapse it, move this around and make it best for you. After you've filled out your criteria, if you want more space for this, you can also collapse that criteria bar, close it and open it, give yourself more space for the results pan or for the map pan. But you can move everything around, but it's nice and convenient, all three things on one screen. So let's go through the search features to start with. First and foremost, you'll notice that before for classic search, you used to have to come in here and then choose which bucket of data you wanted to search by. Now all the buckets are right here at the top of the screen. So residential, most commonly used, lot and land, these different ones, all of these are here. And just a quick tip, because a lot of people call in and ask what cross property is. The rest of them are pretty self-explanatory. Cross property is basically going to search across all of these buckets. Cross property will pull in anything that is lot and land, commercial, rental, residential. So if you're trying to search all kinds of different data buckets at once, cross property is going to be for you. Today, we're going to use residential as our guinea pig. So right off the bat here, you've got the standard settings of what Matrix puts in for the search fields. It matches the same thing that you had in classic search before. So everything that you see listed here, all of those same search criterias are plugged in over here on the new search. So you've got geo area, MLS number, all the different things that you can filter by. You don't have to plug them all in, but as you do start to plug things in, you'll notice it becomes interactive. We'll focus on waterfront, golf access properties. Today, maybe we'll do Cape Coral. They've got a lot. And you'll notice now also when you've got different filters where there's a huge list to pick from, it's going to open it up in a separate window so that you can see it more clearly. The check boxes are more clear. So we'll choose the city, click apply, and then you'll see that it is applied here. And if I did added in 5 different cities and decided, oh, I don't want Cape Coral, you can simply click that X and it'll remove it from that list. But what you'll notice is as I'm plugging these in, our map is moving around, the results pan is moving around. It moves with you and it works with you. You don't have to click submit and go back and forth. And you can truly think through the process and add things and remove things until you get exactly what it is that you want. So a lot of different search features are here. Like I said, it's the same ones that were previously on the classic search. However, if you want to customize your experience again, what you're going to do for the search criteria is come up to this settings wheel here. Any field that you've ever seen displayed inside of Matrix on a printout is here. So if there is something very niche that you need to filter by, you can add it in here. I always use exterior features as an example. Maybe you want to search by houses that only have fences, right? That's in under exterior features. You would add that button. If there's a bunch of stuff on your search criteria that you don't use that's cluttering up your search, get rid of it. You can simply uncheck stuff and remove it from that list. Everything that you're using and you have selected is here on the left-hand side. So you can also change the order that it's in. Maybe first and foremost, you want to search by city, right? Like I had to scroll for a minute, squint my eyes because my glasses are no good to find city. Well, move it right up to the top if that's what you're searching by the most, right? We all work very differently and how we run our businesses. So what you need is not going to be what another realtor needs. We have a lot of people who work specific subdevelopments. You know, maybe you're working one section of Pelican Preserve and you want to be able to grab the developments and sub condos really quickly. Well, add those to the top. You can completely customize what it is that you see here. And the changes that you just saw me make, those will be the same when I come back out and I log in next time. So I'm not constantly customizing it. What you do stays so that it is your experience every time you log in. So same thing that we said for the dashboard for this. Come out here, make it exactly what you want, and then it'll save. You also have these buttons up here. So clear search fields would kind of bring me back to factory reset. It would get rid of the Cape Coral filter, the waterfront filter, things like that. So if you need to run another search, you can clear that. But then you also can set and clear defaults. So aside from customizing what fields are in here, if I click this save button, every time I come out, the fields I entered will already be filled out. It will be Cape Coral, waterfront, golf access. So that's an additional step that you didn't have before where you can preset and save all of these that are filled out. And I see that we have a question. Is there a flood zone criteria button or a way to plug that into the search? Great question. We actually get that frequently. So right now, the best way to look at flood zones is there is a map overlay. When we get to the map part, I will point that out to you where you can see where the flood zones are. Right now, there is not a specific field for flood zone. We are working with your local county to get that data to feed over. So right now, it's not something that they send over when you put in a listing, you type in the address, it brings that information over, right? It tells you what the property ID is, it fills out the address, it fills out about 20 to 25 different fields. We are trying to get that specifically from the county to fill in so that the information is 100%, right from the data source. We don't want people putting that in, plugging it in, putting whatever flood code they want in there. So right now you've got that on the map so that you can look at it. You could, and we're going to show you guys on the map how you draw borders around it. So you could draw borders around based on where specific flood zones are, but that's something that's coming in the future. The next question says, I am new to this MLS. What is crossover? I am not sure what you mean by crossover. If you can type in the question there what you mean by crossover, we've got cross property, which is what we explained is all of the data buckets. Do you mean cross property?
Or do you mean crossover as far as into other MLS's different jurisdictions? How far do we cover?
I don't know. Donna, if you could just type in there what you mean by crossover, because we're a little frozen this morning. I'm not sure what you need for that, and we'll get your question answered. All right, in the meantime, we'll keep moving through here. So once you've got your criteria plugged in here of exactly what it is that you want, you can see the map is displaying our search as well as the results down here. I got another question really quick. Maybe it's Donna. Cross properties. Okay. So the question is, what is cross properties? Cross property search is going to pull in all of these data buckets. So if you're clicking into residential, you're just searching things that are classified as residential. If you're searching in the lot and land bucket, you're just looking at vacant land. But if you click into cross property, it's going to pull all of these at once. So you can search vacant land, residential, commercial, all at once. Good question though. All right, so moving over to the right-hand side here, as I stated, now that we've got our stuff plugged in, you can see all of the results running along the right-hand side. So we're going to start with the results panel first and show you some customizations here. First and foremost, the view that you've got here can be changed with these buttons up top. What you're used to seeing is this display. This is what pops up immediately when you click results in the classic view. So if that's what you love and you're used to, you got it. It's right there. You got your MLS number, you've got the price. These are the custom factory settings that come from Matrix. If you like the thumbnail view, which is exactly like the single line view, but adds in the first photo, you've got that here. There is also a side-by-side comparison. A lot of people love doing this when they're starting their CMA process so that you can see all of the different data listed side by side and do a really nice comparison. The other view option is tile. So this gives you the photo, the first photo in a bigger view, and then some quick little nuggets of information down below. And then you also have the full property view. If we click this, it'll open up the entire listing. And that's going to display based on which one you're clicked into the entire listing information. So we're going to go back to thumbnail here and then show you some different options you have with your results as well. You can select all of the listings by clicking this button up top, or you can choose out specific listings by check marking them here. And with those, you can also, you have up here right above where the select all button is, you can select all, you can narrow the selected ones. So what that would do is get rid of anything that you did not select. Discard selected would get rid of the ones you selected. So this is basically like if you're trying to narrow that list down, maybe you've got like 100 properties on here, you've gone through and selected some very specific ones. This is how you're going to narrow that list down. Or you can clear selected, which means it would undo anything I've selected so that I can start from the beginning. We have a bunch of questions coming in. How do I search for single family with acreage? And then the second question is, will this training be available on YouTube? Yes, this training will be available on YouTube within the week. So we usually have it up within a couple of days. So the other question is, how do I search for single family with acreage? I will show you that really quick. So the single family filter is specifically under building design. That's how you would select single family, low rise, mid rise, high rise. Those are condos, your villas, townhouses, manufactured homes. These are the building design. So if you're looking for single family with acreage, you'll want to check off single family. And then there is also a filter for acreage. So you would just have to know for your customer how much acreage they want. I might have it deselected so I can add that in here. Acreage.
Acres. Right there.
Hang on, my mouse is not moving. So it is one of the filters right here. And then you would type a specific number. You know, do you want 0.5 acres? Do you want 1+ acres? You would type in the acreage that you want there. All right, I think that's all of our questions. So moving forward with this, you have additional options once you've selected certain properties as well of what you can do with your selected properties. So up here, you've got 3 different orange buttons and additional actions with the 3 dots. So if I wanted to print out these properties, easy button right there to print. It'll ask you what type of report you would like to print. You know, you can just do a photo report. Maybe you just want the list. Do you want a thumbnail? Do you want like the entire listing printout? You've got all of these different printout options for that. You can also save these. So we talked about this earlier on the dashboard. You've got the saved searches in the speed bar shortcut. So these would save based on the search criteria that you plugged in over here, not just the ones you selected, but the whole search criteria you plugged in. So if you are working, like we said before, maybe a specific niche community, we'll pick on Pelican Preserve again. You can set up these filters where you want to see anything that's been active in the past 24 hours within Pelican Preserve, or like our question we had earlier, I want to see single family homes with acreage. And then you would type in all of those filters here, click new saved search, give it a name. If you want to attach it to a contact, go ahead and do that. For this one, this is what's going to send them portal access, which we're going to get into next week with One Home. You would set them up and it would create that search for them as well. So when they go out there, they can click on that saved search. But this is a great way to kind of keep a pulse on specific searches that you're trying to do. Yours would be under the speed bar shortcut. Your customers would be under the saved search section. Sending it out. You can send out an email. So where I just selected 4 here, it would send out these specific 4 that I selected to whomever. So maybe I just want to email these 4 to a customer really quick, a family member, whatever it is you're trying to do. Auto email, because there are 640 matches, the auto email is where it sends them an email every morning or every hour, whatever it is that you set it up for. That is going to be the One Home access. and it's going to be based off of your search criteria, not just what you selected. But the auto email portion is what we're going to be going through next week. That's going to connect it into one home and get the customer set up for regular alerts and searches. The reason it is grayed out is because you have to have under 500 matches when you start this search. It will not send them more than 500 matches. And I think if you're sending your customer more than 500 matches,
They're probably not gonna read it.
I can't see them looking at it.
They're probably not gonna read it.
But for today's example, just to give you guys a plethora of data, obviously I pulled a really big batch. We've got 640 matches, but we will be going through that in depth next week. But then you also have a share link. So it'll give you a link. Maybe you don't want to send the email out of Matrix. You want to send it out of your own email account. If you have Gmail or whatever, you can get a link and copy and paste that right into your email that says, hey, click the link below. This will show you all 640 properties that I found for you. And it gives you a quick link. Or maybe it's a link that you want to share on social media that says, hey, here's all the waterfront properties in Cape Coral. Take a quick look and go from there. So these are the quick actions that you can take with this. And then additional actions are based on the 4 properties I clicked. You can pull that into a CMA and start your CMA with that. A lot of times when you go to CMA, it'll ask you to do a search, but some people like to do it backwards. They do the search first and then pull it into the CMA. You can get directions to all 4 of these properties that will create like a roadmap for you of the 4 properties that you selected. You can get statistics on the properties that you have selected. You can export the list that will give you an Excel spreadsheet of what you collected. And then there is carts. We showed you that on the main dashboard as well. And a lot of times the question that we get when people call into the MLS a lot is, what's the difference between a saved search and a cart? So the difference between a saved search and a cart is a saved search, every time you click into that saved search, it's rerunning that search of the criteria you pulled. So today's list of golf access homes is very different from next week's list of golf access homes. So your saved search is, fluid information that's moving, the properties are moving in and out of it. A cart, however, is looking at specific properties. So if I were to click cart right now, these 4 properties I have selected are going to go in the cart. And then I will be able to watch those specific properties after they go pending, after they go sold, anything like that. So search is criteria specific. Cart is property specific. And hopefully that clears that up, because I know that's a confusing part for a lot of people.
You add those, it shows where you find them, once you add them.
Yes. So once you add them in here, this is going to be where your carts go. You can see that these are the prior ones I've done. And then when we were on the dashboard earlier, I'm going to lose my search, but you ask, so you get. So when you come out here, your carts will all be right here. So you can click into and find any of your carts that you've done before.
Yeah, and you can see the properties are different colors on the map.
Yep.
Meaning that they've gone pending, they've gone sold, etc. So those are property, like you said, property specific.
Yep. And we got a couple of questions here. How do you search for open houses with specific date of showing? Great question. All right, let's do this one first. So your open houses are down here. And it's a specific search. So your calendar here would be for the specific date. So you can look at past ones, and then you look at, most of the time you're looking at future ones, right? So I want to see open houses that are going to be this weekend. What date is it? Is that right? Yeah. I've lost my marbles, you guys. All right. And then you could select the type of open house. Is it a broker open? Is it a public open? Property type. Do you just want single family? You can run all of your other searches, add in criteria here. Maybe, you just want a specific zip code, anything like that. But searching open houses is going to be part of this drop-down menu right here. And thankfully, they put that date option right there at the top for you.
And if you look there, they got refreshments, yes or no.
That's
there
important.
Are 2 of them that are not having refreshments.
Don't go there.
Get those.
No snacks. Can I search Pelican Preserve only? Would I select a geocode to do this? How do you, okay, so for searching the specific communities, that is going to be a development Let me scroll here because I move this around every time I do a class.
There's your development.
So developments right here, all the developments are loaded into here. So you would click that. This mouse today, man. All right, there it goes.
The battery's gone.
I know. You killed the batteries on my mouse just in time for class. All right, and it's also loading slow because we're, oh, there we go. So anything Pelican here. So you would scroll down, find Pelican Preserve,
Yep.
check it off, and then it would pull anything that's just Pelican Preserve. The development is going to be the overall community name. And then if they have like sub pieces to that development, they're called like sub developments or condo names. If you needed to get more niche, so inside of Pelican Preserve, which I'll show you because it'll lessen the list. Inside of Pelican Preserve, I know they've got like, I don't know, 100 different little communities in there. You can filter it down to just those as well.
Man, click on Pelican Preserve. There you go.
I know, it didn't stick.
Your mouse.
It didn't stick. So once you chose Pelican Preserve, now anything, you know, within Pelican Preserve, you can go ahead and do any of those sub condo names and, you know, pick out a specific part of that community if you needed to.
Right. And you can still go back and search this for single families. You can search for pool, yes, no, etc.
Yeah.
As well. So
all right. Somebody says my CMA is inactive. If you can send me a quick email or send MLS a quick email and let us know, we'll look into your profile for you. It's MLS@rpcra.org. Is there a map of the developments showing names? Can I find geocodes? We will get to developments and geocodes here in just a second because it's going to be part of our map search, but that's a brilliant question. And the police are in the background if you can hear them. They're coming for Jason. All right. So let's reset this thing here. I think we'll clear our search. So a lot of our users specifically use the map for searching. You know, they don't even use filters or anything like that. They just hop on the map. So we're going to start from scratch there and show you everything that the map has involved now that we've seen everything inside of the search filters and the results down here. So we're going to collapse everything else, make the map nice and big for our eyes. And we'll look down here at the yacht club area. I'm picking on Cape Coral a lot, I know. All right, so getting your map exactly to where you want, if you're using it for searching specifically, scroll in here. I did turn off all of these though. Make sure you still have active selected. I know. All right, there we go. So you can see all of the little green dots are going to pull up here of anything that's active, but we don't want everything that's in the MLS, right? We want to search a specific area. What you can do is here we go. All right. So clicking into this drop down, all of your map options are running here along the top in this gray bar. So clicking in the drop down, you've got different options to draw onto the map and then search within those specific shapes. The polygon is the most popular because that's where you can draw exactly what you want. Radius is going to pull out a circle. Rectangle obviously is going to do a rectangle shape, but if you want to freehand it, that polygon is going to be your best option. There is a ruler option, and then sync results is another one we get a lot of calls about. What this does is if I click sync results, we'll open up the results panel here a little bit. Prior to having sync results clicked, it was pulling every active one in the MLS. When I highlight sync results, it's only going to show me what is on my screen. So right now we would have just these. It says showing 130 out of over 5,000 matches, right? There's 130 on my screen. So in the results panel, it'll only show me those 130 instead of all 5,000. So if I scroll in, right, it's only going to show in my results now these few properties on the screen, 7 out of 5,000. Once it loads, it takes a second here to load because we're zooming at the same time. So that is an option to make it interactive with your map and the results down below. Also, you can eliminate properties and be very specific with your properties by drawing this polygon. So if our customer only wants this little section here, you can draw out, and it's not going to be a pretty shape. And the mouse is dying. This is awful.
I'm sorry about my mouse.
All right, so we draw out our little shape, bringing it back to the starting point. And now we specifically just have the 71 results that are within this shape. Again, you can do a circle if you want. Maybe they've got like a point of interest and they only want to go so far out from that point of interest. You could do a radius around it, draw a rectangle, whatever shape it is that you might need, and pull your results based on that. You also have the option now, not zoom in too far, to check properties off. So we can choose which ones we want, just as we did on the list earlier, right? We selected those 4 properties on the list. This is how you would do it on the map. So then if I were to send out an email, right? We did this before, we come out, we click send, it would send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 properties I have selected. If I came down to, oh my goodness gracious, came down to this list, the mouse is like dead. If I come down to that list, it is going to display, this thing hates me. It is going to display just those properties that I've selected. And at any point, if you want to, and you don't want, that, I messed the whole thing up. If you don't want that shape anymore, you can X out of it up here and then start to draw a new shape for yourself if needed. There we go.
It's a great shape.
Thanks. And there's our shape again. All right, and then if you wanted to, you also could check all that were in that square. So this button allows you to select specific properties for your list. This button will check everything that is in your list. You also have the option up here for select all and select what's visible. Visible means it would be anything that you see within your map. And then you can also click clear selected. So you'll notice a lot of those options up here match the same ones that we had in the results panel before for selecting, narrowing down your property search, anything like that. Let's unclick this. You also will notice when you're in the map view, if we scroll in here really quick, if I click the thumbnail, it will open up a quick summary panel for me as well. So, when you're going through trying to select your properties, figure out which ones that you want, you can get a quick view of it right here, and then collapse it. So you can go right back to the property. But if you need to open up the full property view, you will click on the MLS number and this will give you the full entire printout of the property.
Yeah, that's very convenient to be able to look at that simultaneously at the map.
Your mouse is killing me.
My mouse is killing you. I know.
All right, so let's go ahead and clear that polygon and we will go back to the full map view and kind of talk to you guys about the features that you have for viewing purposes. So what we've covered so far is for searching specifically, picking out criteria, but you also have different viewing capabilities to get better ideas of the area. So we had somebody earlier ask about geocodes, flood zones, great questions. So we're going to clear all of our little thumbnails here and just get a blank map. You've got additional options over here that we have not gotten to, and one of those is the layers option. So there's lots of different categories in here that you can filter by. Let's go down here into boundaries. You've got the geo areas.
That one's cool.
And this is what we had for a question earlier, is the geocodes. Let me move our little heads because I can't find my buttons. So we get this question a lot too. What are the geocodes? How do I know where those are? If you're new to the area or you've just never used them before, you can add that filter onto the map. No need to go down and buy one. It's all right here plugged into the matrix system.
There goes our map sales.
I know. Our little.
But that's really cool. So if you're looking at a particular one, and you can actually, if you're just using the map search, you can actually do the polygon over the geo. Maybe there's 2 adjacent geocodes, etc. So that's really cool.
So earlier when I was drawing that specific shape right here around the yacht club, I really didn't need to. I could have just applied a filter for the CC11 geocode and it would have done the work for me, right?
Correct.
So, great option there. You can add in multiple filters over the map, or you could do one at a time. I am getting there, Jason. So, your flood zones, why? Oh, I've got to zoom in. So it will tell you for some of these, you can see it's grayed out. It wants you zoomed in more to apply some of those filters. So if you click the zoom option next to it, like I just did for flood zone, you'll notice it pulled my map in and turned that on for me. But some of them will be grayed out based on how far out you are. So applying that filter, you can see we've got both the geo codes going and the flood maps going. If you wanted to, you could, shut one off, turn one on. We'll do just flood maps. And there we go. There's your flood zones for the area to help you with your research.
Yeah, so if you're searching, a lot of people say, I can't search or filter by flood zone. And again, Joanna alluded to the fact we're trying to work with the county to ingest that information into our database so it's accurate from the county because they're getting their information from FEMA. But until then, this is how you can do you can do multiple polygons and do a bunch of searches around, certain flood zones if that's what people wanted to do.
Yeah. So the question is, how do I search for homes only in flood zone X? We don't have that filter right now, but you can use the map to then draw a polygon around it until we get that information from the county.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, I think that's all of our questions for right now. So the other options you've got, recenter here is going to bring you back to where you started. Layers is what we just went through. And then you've got the, you can jump to a location, you can set current locations, you can set certain cities just for, where you want your map defaults to be. And then most importantly, the save button. So just as we had the option to save your defaults for searching here, based on where I place this map and what filters I apply to it, right? If I've got like the flood zones and the geocodes, I've got multiple things on here. If I click that save button, every time I come out to this search, my map will be set exactly as I like it with the filters I want in the place that I want so that it is customizable to you. A few other options coming back down here to the results panel that you also have. Let me add in some filters really quick here to pull up. Mouse, please. Okay. So once you have some results in here, you can also customize your experience for the results panel by clicking on the settings wheel and selecting out what you want it to display. So this looks a lot like what you guys saw earlier for the search options, right? We chose exactly what we want to search by over here. This settings wheel is going to show you what shows up in these columns here. This was a little bit more complicated in the classic search, trying to customize what it looked like, and it didn't save. You would have to edit every time. Well, now it's there for you. So if you just don't care about, I'm going to pick on, MLS numbers, you can get rid of that column. A lot of people want to add in the development and the subdevelopment name. You can totally customize this so that your running sheet here looks exactly like what you want. And then every time you come out here, that will stay. So the data that displays is always going to be exactly the information that you need at your fingertips, quick and ready to go. I think really that's everything for our search. Is there anything you can think of that I've forgotten? And I'll give you guys a few minutes to type in any more questions that you might have here.
No, I don't think you missed anything. I mean, I just want to really stress the fact that this is totally customizable, which is the power of this new search. And nobody likes change, I get it. But the power of the new search is the fact that it is customizable to what you want it to do. And it sticks to what you left it or saved it as. So if there's a certain way you use MLS, and I don't know if anybody knows, but Joanna was a practitioner. I was as well. I wish we had this search when I practiced because it's not the get out, the fresh out of the box. Here's your MLS. This is totally customizable to what you want to have it done. So again, I think customize it, play with it. And how you search matters, right? Because you can get yourself to a point where you're filtering out waste too much that you're missing properties that may be good for your buyer or maybe good for a comp. I've seen practitioners like filter out to the nth degree. One of the questions with regards to flood maps is why do we have that search? Like I indicated before, we're looking at ingesting information. We do not want agents to put that information in because we don't want to risk the information being inaccurate.
Right.
And we know
It's a
that
huge liability for, especially if you're the
Huge.
buyer's agent filtering by it and providing it to your customer.
right, especially if you don't know if that information is accurate, et cetera. So, but accuracy here is so critically important. So understanding that, I think sometimes less is more. The less you actually filter by,
Mhm.
the better the result's going to be. Because if somebody fat fingers, a 3-bedroom that makes it a 5-bedroom, it may not show up in your search. And yes, we are looking at compliance, but we're not checking LIPA against bedrooms and baths.
Mhm.
That would get reported through Report It, and not through our AI. So
I think
just
some of us just get very filter happy, like you want to do what's best for your customer. You want to show them that I know everything that you want down to every little detail, but you get too filter happy, it really narrows it.
right. I mean, I sold in the area for 18 years, and I will tell you, and I'll get the hate mail from saying this, but it's you take the time and do the things that you need to do to find the property. That may mean you're up until 9 o'clock at night after you put your kids to bed, or 10 o'clock at night looking through this stuff, because there's no easy button with real estate. They're just not, guys. If there had been one, I would have found it and I would have been retired by now. There's no easy button. So take the time and look at the properties. And this gives you the opportunity to have that panel on the right-hand side where you can click it on the map and see it. I don't know another MLS that has that out there from a vendor perspective. I think Matrix is the first one at the gate with that. But that gives you ability to look on the map, right? They may say, I don't want to live in the middle of the block. I want to live on, either corner within a couple houses of the block. That's a map search thing. And then be able to look at the house. Well, I need a house that has, a long driveway or a wide driveway, whatever. You're not going to see that from the map. You may see it from the picture. So it gives you that ability to start looking and then be able to check those houses that make sense, save them and send them. I think that's where the power is. But the customization is something that you should embrace.
So we had a question, and I'll share the screen again. They were a little confused. They wanted us to show how you customize the search filters on the left-hand side again. So that's going to be the little settings wheel right here. And that is only going to change this box, right? Is what you can search by. You click that and you can add in here by checking off or unchecking any type of search feature that you want. And then you can also order it in the way you want it. So whatever you have checked off will display. Whatever is not checked off will not show here. And then it'll be in the order that you want it as well.
Yeah, hit that one more time.
Yep.
And every single input that you put it on a listing again, scroll all the way down. I mean, this is just
It's a long
it's a lot of stuff, right? Condo fees, you can search by county permits, document days on market. There's 100 things you can search by. And again, we talk about getting too filter happy. So this is it. But if you got somebody that says, I don't want HOA fees over X, right? Then you can search by it. But this is just on the L's and we're halfway through it. There's literally hundreds of these you can put on the left-hand side if you want to search by it. And some of it does make sense, right? You have investors, price per square foot may make sense.
Roof is very
new roof
button here,
especially with the recent storms. Be able to put all the stuff. Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it just does. So.
Yeah, but good question. Yeah. So the settings wheel will allow you to customize your searching filters over here. This settings wheel will determine what you see after you've searched. And then this, you can play around with all these buttons and then you can save it as well. So every portion of this search completely customizable to your experience. But
yeah, a lot of good stuff with the new search.
Yeah, I think that's all of our questions. So specifically today, we've gone through all of those little search features. What we're going to do next week is pull up that search. We showed you where the auto email button is, but we want to take you through the whole experience of setting up the customer, doing the search for them, getting them set up on auto emails, and what the experience is for you and what the experience is for the buyer, the customer, whoever you set the search up on. That's what we're going to take this and kind of take it to that next step next week. And another question. Oh no, they're just complimenting how great you are, Jason.
We do take compliments as well as questions.
Thank you, Melissa, for the great compliment. We're here every week, unfortunately. So we're the circus act of the MLS. So and I will be able to find the next class on YouTube. Yes. So every single Monday we do these classes, and then within, a couple of days, based on how busy we are here, it gets uploaded onto that YouTube channel. So if you're new, you can go out and see anything we did last year. We also have a lot of training out there that's not just, the circus show of us too. There's lots of other training videos out there for you.
Yeah, go out there and learn this stuff. I mean, the power of the MLS to be able to find that person a dream home is incredible. I mean, and we probably, most people I talk to, I do broker office visits, they're probably using 10% of what the MLS can do, versus what they're actually using. So,
I'll just open up the channel really quick.
so yeah, we'll show you the channel, but there's a lot of information out there for you to be able to go in and train yourself on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
So this is the YouTube channel here, scrolling down. Most important things, if you go to the videos tab, this is going to show you everything in chronological order that we've uploaded. So you can see our most recent MLS Mondays. You can search by topic, but I suggest you go into the playlist section. We've worked really, really hard on making this kind of easy for you with playlists. Every single topic is out here and it's chunked into different buckets. So if you're looking at a specific tool and trying to learn it, this is going to be the best spot. So every video that you need on Sun Stats is here. Forewarn is got its own bucket of videos. MLS Matrix, which we've done today, this has the most, 77 videos, obviously. Real Reports, really cool tool, 11 videos, but every topic is chunked out into little buckets here. So you can say view full playlist, see every video that's in it, and then watch which ones you need based on what your needs might be. But that is the Florida Gulf Coast MLS YouTube Training Center.
Yeah, and we, like you said, we spent a lot of time putting this together, but I also think the other piece too is that not every video is 50 minutes like this MLS Monday.
Right.
Some of these are 2, 3, 5 minute, like go out there and learn.
Yep.
So
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you here next week for One Home. Until then, if you guys need anything, you can call in and ask for MLS, or you can email us at mls@rpcra.org, and we'll be happy to help. And I think we got 2 questions. Nope, just thank yous. Awesome. Well, you guys have a good week.